Sherwin, you've been talking quite a bit about demographics and how they're going to play out, and where Donald Trump really has to make gains. I heard an interesting statistic earlier on that it seems in some areas college graduates are voting much more this time than before, and that those without college degrees haven't voted as much. And I guess if this is a trend, kind of favors Joe Biden more than Donald Trump.
It would favor Joe Biden more than Donald Trump, but it's still early. Those are based on some of the exit polls, and we do not want to base our predictions on exit polls because exit polls don't give a broad indication of how the election or the vote will go. So a bit early for us to really confirm what non-college white Americans and what college-educated Americans will do, but certainly that is a trend that we've heard about and that we are seeing, but difficult for us to unequivocally confirm, Peter. I just want to update you on the race in Florida, with about 89% of precincts reporting in that key swing state. Donald Trump's home state seems to be tracking in the Republican incumbent's direction. He has a slim lead of about 50.3% of the total vote to Joe Biden's 48.6%. And that does track some of the polling we've been reporting on. Joe Biden was slightly ahead. Trump was in different polls slightly ahead. And so in terms of that margin of error, we are now beginning to see it sort of track towards President Trump. And of course, fundamental to this is probably the president's move down to Florida from New York, to his address moving from Manhattan to Mar-a-Lago, of course, the resort the golfing estate that he owns down there, and Florida, of course, one of the conversation points in every election, and really coming to the table here for President Trump, and an important, if he were to win, if that is confirmed, an important victory in terms of staying alive in the election night here, because if he did not win Florida, then Biden, we'll be talking about having a short night tonight, but it seems to tracking in his direction. Of course, that is not a final tally, only 89% of precincts there. And of course, we are also watching places like Georgia and North Carolina, where precincts are now reporting. If there was any estimation about how long we'd go tonight, I think it's getting clearer that it's going to be longer rather than shorter, Peter.
All right. So again, demographics, a big thing. Who is in Florida that's voting for Donald Trump there? I know there's a lot of retirement homes in that part of the world, but also Hispanics.
Yes, and as we were discussing earlier this week, we talk a lot about how the Hispanic voting bloc is not a monolithic bloc. It's not as monolithic as perhaps you could describe the black demographic in the United States, where over 80 to 90% vote Democrat in the United States. I think the split in the Hispanic vote is more sort of a 60-40, but in Florida you have a large expat of Venezuelans and Cubans that tend to track Republican in terms of, just the posture that Donald Trump has taken towards Cuba, for example, and Venezuela, no doubt, really shifting the trajectory that the United States was on in terms of the détente that was embraced by the Obama administration. All that has really been taken away under President Donald Trump. The progress that we've made, that was made between the two countries in terms of re-establishing diplomatic ties. You'll remember that President Obama went to Cuba, the first president that went there in something like 50 years plus. That Latino bloc in Florida and coupled with the Venezuela influence tends to track conservative. They're very conservative in their social issues, especially the anti-abortion movement resonating with that kind of demographic. So a lot of pluses for President Donald Trump, certainly in the demographics that make up Florida. You correctly point out that a lot of retirees move down there from around the country. They tend to be more conservative. We have also included in our reporting the fact that a lot of those retirees were beginning to break away from the president, but it seems that his coalition in the state of Florida holding firm, and he looks like Florida he's going to keep that in the red column this evening.